Hi there, welcome back and welcome to another episode of Flip That Recipe, where we turn your average everyday recipes into something amazingly healthy and tasty. My name is Kat and today we're going to flip your average store-bought whole wheat bread into an 8-ingredient whole wheat berry bread. So the problem about store-bought wheat bread is that a lot of times the wheat that's in the bread is refined, meaning a lot of the important parts of the wheat has been taken off during the refining process. If you look at a wheat itself, it has different parts. It has the bran, which is the outside part layer of the wheat. It has the germ, which is the embryo, and then the endosperm is pretty much the starchy part of the wheat. So during the refining process, the bran, the outside layer of bran, and the germ, which is the embryo, has been taken off. And that contains a lot of the protein of the wheat and a lot of the trace minerals and nutrients. So whatever the wheat that goes into the store-bought bread, a lot of times is very refined wheat that does not have the bran and the germ in there anymore. So refined wheat has 25% less protein and the vitamins and the minerals that is in the bran and the germ that has been taken out is not there. So today we are going to flip that whole wheat store-bought bread into an 8-ingredient whole wheat berry bread that has more protein, more fiber, and more nutrients and trace elements that are beneficial for your body. And an added bonus is the bread that we're making today will not have any preservatives, kind of like what they add in the ones that are store-bought. So here are the ingredients that we'll be using for our whole wheat berry bread. We have a 1.5 cups of wheat berries, which is something that you can get from a health store. I usually get it from in bulk, from the bulk section at Whole Foods, or you can get it from Sprouts too, or maybe they'll have it in the regular grocery store. We also have 1/2 cup of bread flour, 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and for this one we're using Himalayan salt. We have an 1/8 cup of sugar. We're using coconut sugar for this one. And then we have an 1/8 cup of oil. We're using sunflower oil. And I warmed up some milk. This is almond milk right here, and we need 1 cup of warm milk. You can use nut milk or you can use just regular milk, whichever one you prefer. And we also have 1 egg, which is left in room temperature. Alright, so here are the tools that we will be using. We have the dry container attachment. We're using a dry container attachment because it's something that works wherein it brings out like the mixture and then pull whatever you put in there. Like if you put in the wheat berries, it pulls it up and that's how it grinds it, as opposed to a regular blender that pulls the mixtures down and that's how it blends it. So in this, for this one, make sure you're using a dry container. And then we're also using a mixer. Just a regular bread mixer. And there's one secret to that. For this bread recipe, we're not gonna use the bread hook. We're gonna use the kneading paddle, which makes the bread more efficiently. So we are done grinding it. It took me about 4 minutes to grind it, and in this dry container, how I knew that it was done is when it was like, it would stop moving, like the flour would just stop moving, and then you kind of want that consistency. But it might vary depending on like the machine that you're using. Alright, so we'll add our grounded up wheat berries in a mixing bowl. So I just put in all the ingredients in the mixer and I mixed it up a little bit, and I want to show you what it looks like over here. That's with all the wet and dry ingredients. And I'm going to start mixing it, and start very low first because you don't want all of your ingredients to just fly away all over the place. So you're gonna mix it on low. So I'm gonna start at 1, and I'm gonna keep it in that speed until you get that texture of a cookie dough. And then after that, we're going to take it to full maximum speed for about approximately 3 minutes. Okay, so now I just pulled it down a little bit. I just wanted to show you what it looks like now that it looks like a cookie dough. It has that cookie dough texture in it. And so now I'm gonna pull it back up and mix it with like the highest speed for approximately 3 minutes. Alright, so it's finally done mixing, and I just want to show you what it looks like after it's done mixing. You want this texture when it's sticky like this. That's exactly what you want, and that's when you know that it's done. So now we're gonna scrape off the dough off the mixing bowl. I have my spoon right here, and I put a little bit of oil just because it's gonna be really sticky, and I also put a little bit of oil in my hands just because I will be taking the dough out. It just makes it easier, and it makes you just be able to grab it from the mixing bowl and form it into a ball. It's so heavy. Alright, so here is the dough right here, and we're gonna form it into a ball and knead it over here. Put a little bit of flour in there. All right, so now we're gonna knead the dough 50 times. So there you go, there's our dough ball right there. And what we're gonna do is add some oil to the mixing bowl that we've used. And we're going to put the dough ball back in the mixing bowl. Alright, so now you're going to get a 6x9 loaf pan. And I'm just going to try to oil it to make sure that your bread doesn't stick. Okay, so now we're going to get the dough of the bread and we're going to shape it up. My assistant's going to help me over here. Alright, so we are done and the bread is finally done. We have your 8-ingredient whole wheat berry bread. See how it just comes off the pan real quick? It's because of the oil that we've added on the pan loaf a while ago that makes it super easy to get it off of there. Otherwise, if you didn't oil the pan and all the corners, you would have a hard time, and there's a huge possibility that it will stick in the loaf pan. See how it turned out. Look at that. It's really soft and fluffy and really nice texture and consistency. Just all with those 8 ingredients. No preservatives, nothing extra. And you're getting all the fiber and all the protein. Slice a little bit more. Gosh, if you could just smell this, it smells so good. It smells so fresh. Well, thank you for joining me for making this amazing, healthy, and it turned out so well, 8-ingredient whole wheat berry bread. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!